a smacking noise?
They're washing clothes. We're living in the countryside here.
Right.
There's even a cockerel that we hear every morning, and we want to shoot it at 4:15 in the morning. That's a really difficult question. Really difficult question. If I knew the answer, I'd be a happy man. Actually, for me, it's actually quite easy to balance because I don't know whether you know. On top of that, I read mathematics at Oxford, and I also lecture on architecture. So having these many disciplines means that when you get fed up of one, or when you reach as much as you can on that one, you can then move to another. I never intended to be humorous. They were all meant to be serious stories. And once they came out, people said, oh God, I laughed at this, or I laughed at that. And I think, hang on a minute, this is serious. How dare you laugh? You know, it really was not intended to be humor. And I think that is the thing about humor, is that if you set out intending to be humorous, you will fall flat on your face. The whole secret of humor is to catch somebody unawares, and quite often catch yourself unawares when you write it. It's only once you've written it that you realize, oh, that's actually quite funny. In my new book, The Professional, that's a deadly serious book. It's about the story of a young man in London, very serious. And then one fine day I was sitting up there writing, and these two old ladies appeared, and I wrote a couple of pages, and I thought, I can't put this into the book. They've got nothing to do with the story, and it was quite funny. And then I worked really hard to work them into the story, but they came out of nowhere, and they ended up, of course, they stay in the book, and for many people that's the favorite part of the book. Once you get that funny passage or the funny line, it's technically extremely difficult. It's all to do with the ear, to do with timing. You have to read that sentence, one false word, and the joke goes. That's why being a stand-up comic is actually the most difficult job on earth. I've done it once and never again, because, you know, you get one word wrong and the laugh goes. And it's not like tragedy where everybody will weep, to a certain extent a tragedy. With comedy, one false line, the joke goes. And if nobody laughs, you've lost them. Because they won't, however much you explain to them afterwards, they will never laugh again. A joke repeated is never funny. So it's like something chemical that comes from in you. So as a humorist, you have to work really hard with your sentence that all the words are right and no one word is too many words. Because if there's one word too many, you will lose the laugh. And there are the dogs and the kids and the clients coming for personal training and lectures to students, and generally much of my time is spent vegetable shopping in Rahimas. And do you know that the day-to-day stuff that we all of us Sri Lankans do, and we like to pretend we don't, but actually that is our life. You know, it's not like in the West where you can ring up Sainsbury's and they deliver all your stuff. It's not, sadly, it's not like that here. Because I'm a lazy beggar and I don't like to edit too much. Now Shyam is very strict, he edits everything, and thereby he gets a very beautiful, mellifluous, flowing, finished product. I don't, I shoot from the hip. Once I write something, it's edited very little. And surprisingly, when it goes off to India to Random House to be edited by them, they too send it back with very, very little changed. Why do I do this? Because I fear that for me, if I go back and rewrite it, it's like boiling cabbage over and over and over. You lose the taste, and somehow you lose the freshness of it. But that's purely me. I think most writers will not agree with me on this. So, you can't also write a masterpiece, sit down and write it straight away. Where does the editing occur? It occurs in my brain. Now there's been a book in my brain for the last 1 year. And I'm almost afraid to sit and write it. Because once I commit a page, even one page to paper, I'm lazy to change it. Yeah, there again, it's not so obvious to me that that's what I'm doing. I think we're always told in writers' workshops or whatever, write about what you know. But I don't go out of my way to write about a particular section of Colombo society, and I sort of feel a little miffed when people say, oh, well, that's all you write about. Well, I just write about what I know. You know, I would love to write about the life of a three-wheeler carrier in a tenement in Maligaon. I would love to, but I don't know about that life. And it reminds me of what Edna O'Brien said, a very similar thing. She said nowadays there's a tendency, you go on the internet and you hear about the story about some desert in Sudan where the family only sends out a young girl of below 5 to fetch the water from 2 miles away because she won't get raped. If you send anybody 5 and over, they will get raped on the way back. She said it's a beautiful, poignant story, she said, but it's not my story. So she said, I can't write it. So in a similar way, I feel that one needs, for the writing to be natural, to write about what one knows. And sadly, if it's about mad old aunties in Colombo, well then so be it. All of us need staying power. There seems to be a dip in both the quality and the quantity of writing today. And what I would say is this, you know, don't be afraid, branch out. Now your parents may say you've got to be a doctor, a lawyer, an accountant. That's for sure. Money is important. At the same time, have the guts, have the courage of your conviction to continue writing. You may write one book and it may do not so well. But if you have it in you to write, continue writing. That is what I would say. Just be brave and go for it.